Hi, it is Wendy from Tai Chi The Way of Life. I know I'm doing a weird squat to get into this video. Yes, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. You could do that just directly below here on the right hand side. Okay, I hope I was pointing at the right side there. I always do it wrong. Okay, so this video. Right, so what is the main reasons? So there's about 3 classic mistakes that people make, and that can be detrimental for your knees, for your knee health. So yes, it's a good idea to pay attention and not create those mistakes and then wreck your knees. So what are they? So here we go. So number 1 problem, in my opinion, is that people don't sink into their yao, hua, whatever you want to call it, whatever dialect you're speaking. So they just bend their knees, and then they just bend their knees, and they bend their knees, and they bend lower and lower, and they keep kind of doing this, and this is still closed, it's not open, because then all my weight stressing my lower back, and also all my weight, funny enough, really weird, I don't know how you can move like that anyway. So that, I think, it's a number 1 reason, because you think, oh, I'm going to get in a steeper stance, but then if you don't sink into here, because it hurts your quads, hurts your legs, so you start doing something funny like this. Okay, you might laugh, so you end up leaning back. You're doing this kind of thing, and this is still closed. So you need to, yes, you bend your knees, but it needs to go into here. Okay. The other reason is people just want to sink, and they're trying to get lower, and they can't get any lower because the knee start to hurt. Because even if you're doing squat, all right, not in Tai Chi, so of course in Tai Chi we don't go into such a deep stance or squat. When you're squatting, what you do is you push your weight all the way back, okay, so that you're in a right angle position, and then the weight is not in my knee because my weight is going backwards. So it's likewise in Tai Chi, you push your weight back, okay, and then you will reduce. There's something else, but I'm not even going to talk about it because it probably won't make any sense to you yet. All right, might cover it in another video, but likewise, you don't just bend your knee and hope for the best, sink into here, but you're kind of, that's why they said imaginary chair, and that's why I said pretend you're sitting in the imaginary chair, because your weight still has to go back, okay, and then the weight won't be in your knees. So that's one thing. People fail to go into their hip flexors. They don't want to sink into their hua. Okay. The other thing is, if you don't sink into here, then what you're going to do, you're going to twist your knee when you start to move. So when you start to turn, what you're doing is, for me, I'm turning from my hip, because my hip go all the way around my joint. So it allows me to turn from my hip, and the more I turn, the more I have to line my knee up to my toe. I could turn the other way. Okay, so if you're not sinking here, you're just doing this, what you're going to do, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to twist my knee, is you're going to try to twist your knee and do the movement. And when they are not lined up anymore to your big toe, you're twisting them, and over time, yes, you are going to wreck your joint in your knees. So that's again, the ultimate reason is because you're not sitting in your yao, in your hua, in your hip. You're not moving from your hip, and that's a danger of twisting from your knee. And rightly so, the weight then, if you don't sit, if you don't put your weight back, then the weight is holding in your knees, and if you're holding, if you're not sinking in here, then the weight has to go into your knees and not through your hip and down into your heels. Okay, and of course when you're doing that, you're putting pressure on your lower back. Okay. Okay, then you have the other problem is, say my weight is in my front leg, I'm in this kind of position, just say. So my weight is in my front leg. What happens is, a lot of people, this knee kind of almost like they flop inward. You're twisting it. So it mustn't. It must line up, always. And of course, a lot of people know about this because knee mustn't go over the toe, so your weight, I'm not even going to do it. Your weight is over and your weight is here and you're putting loads of pressure in that front knee. Okay, so when you're transferring weight, so this is another problem with people. So when they're transferring weight, what they is doing is they put all the weight in there. So even though my knee is not over my toe, over time, yes, I am still putting pressure in that knee. Over time, you won't feel it yet, but a long run, over a year or whatever, you're going to feel, you're going to wreck your knee. So it's important to line that. If you line that knee up with that toe, it will not. It will help you to sink back into that heel, and it helps you not to overextend your body forward and putting weight in that one, in your front knee. Likewise, you can put too much pressure in your back. So say, I don't know, I'm going to transfer the weight back in here, and then you're kind of almost like leaning back. Again, you're putting lots of strain, I could feel it, and also lots of strain in the back as well, in the lower back. So again, it's the same. So when your weight is in your back leg, if your knee was straight, then all the weight is in that knee. All right? So always remember to line your knee up with your toe, with your big toe. Then you will not be in these kind of position. That knee is straight, all the weight is in that knee, which is really, really bad. But if I line my knee up with that, it will stop me. But I am still sitting in this leg. Why do I know I'm sitting in this leg? Because I could move my front leg. My weight is not in here, and I can't move it. Okay, I have transferred in here, but I'm not in here, this position, because that puts strain in my knee, and also it lose my central line anyway. So I am in this position, and I could bring my leg in, I could move. Okay, it doesn't affect my flexibility around. I could move around, forward, backward. So those are basically the main kind of classic errors that we might make, and then which can then hurt our knees. So just to recap, basically the main thing is fail to sink in here. So you're not really sinking in here, you're not really sitting into here, you're kind of just bending your knees, or you're not putting your weight back, like I did say, you know, when you're doing a squat, you're pushing your weight back. Okay, so likewise, when you're in your stance, you still have to push your weight back and sinking in here. You're not just standing here and this is still, and then all the weight is going into your knee, but you have to just let go and sink into here. And then when you're then moving about, when your weight is not 50-50, it's distributed, then you're not all the weight is going forward, so the weight is in the front knee, or all the weight is in the back, that knee is straight. So these are all bad position. So that knee is kind of straight, it's not lined up anymore. All the weight in the front. If I'm doing the same here, all the weight is in that knee is straight. Again, it's not good at all for your knee over time. All right, and also, yes, the lower back will take the weight. So if you're not moving from your hip, what you tend to do, you might twist your knee. Okay, so I could move from my hip, so I'm making sure that my knee is always lined up. Then I keep my knee steady, keep my knee facing forward all the time. All right, so I hope that has been helpful for you. And yes, so please do look after your knees, and yeah, it is actually very important, and practice correctly, that you don't then causes a lot of injuries in your knees over a long period of time. All right, so thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful, and yeah, do subscribe, and bye for now, and God bless.